Right, let's see here. Oh, grade 4 and the Red Bull ring? Oh, this is my game. This is gonna be easy. It's gonna be super. Oh, never mind, it's raining. Right, so for the first race, we're starting all the way down in 11th place, so at the back of the pack. And the reason for that is because I have not quite discovered that the wet tires were much faster than the intermediates. And there's already a car off the circuit. And at this point, I was on the intermediate tires because, like I said, didn't realize the wets were faster. Which means I had very little grip, especially with this very heavy rain weather here. So as we go through the first corner, we go down the inside of the Spaniard there. However, we're a little bit late on the brakes, just a little bit late. And we go off wide and we lose control of the car. And we hit the wall. And we drop all the way down to last place. Well, second last place if you count the Italian, but that's the guy who went up the circuit. So I believe he probably went AFK or something. So yeah, P10 then for us, or P15 for us then at the moment. All the way down in last place. And I guess my goal at this point was maybe finish in P10. I think a top 10 finish would be good, at least where we started in P11. So as we go through the second corner here off the second lap, you can see there's the South African is going quite slow there, and the two Brits ahead of us battling went wide, both of them, and we tried to overtake the Brit there, mistaking Chunk. We hit him from the back, we caused him to spin a bit, we lose him to like a bit of a dirty overtake. So as you saw there, I actually went wide and slowed down, and I gave him the position back. That was on purpose, it wasn't a mistake. I felt bad, obviously it was a very dirty overtake, so I wasn't really going to go with that. I didn't want to overtake him that way, so I just gave him the position back. And instead we settle him behind and see if we can make a move, perhaps in the first corner, since that's the least risky place to go for a move. However, as we go through the final corner, he goes a little bit wide off the circuit there, and yeah, I take advantage of that and I overtake him. And speeding through here the main straight, as we quickly catch up to the two Brits ahead of the Brit ahead of us there, but he just drifts off the circuit on the grass. So once again, free position for me up into P12 then, and skipping forward to the start of the fourth lap, you can see we actually managed to catch up to the French driver there pretty quickly. And as we go through the second corner, we're gonna go for a bit of a risky move, to be honest. Wasn't exactly the safest of moves. There was even contact there, but that could have been much worse. If I missed the braking point even slightly, I would have possibly pushed both of us off the circuit and just basically ruined both of our races. So thankfully it could have been much worse than what it was. Anyway, start of the final lap, and if you look behind in the radar in the top right, and the bottom right, sorry, you can see that the South African has overtook the Frenchman and is now right on my tail. In fact, he's going for a move here on the outside. I go defensive, and he got a much better exit. You can see just how much ahead of me he was here. However, on the braking, I brake a little bit later than him, and I leave him space on the exit, but he doesn't get. I get a much better exit out of this corner, and you can see we start to pull away here. And I go slightly defensive as well on the second corner just in case, but if you look in the radar there, you can see he looks like he missed his braking point and went off on the grass, I think on the grass anyway. And yeah, by the end of the race, not much happened, and we stayed in 11th place. We couldn't even cross the finish line actually. The time ran out before we managed to cross the finish line. But we finished in 11th place, so where we qualified, so I'm pretty happy with that. So for the second race here, we have finally discovered that the wet tires are far better than the intermediate tires. So I was immediately, just by putting them on, I was already like 4 or 5 seconds faster. So starting second here then, based on that. And starting second place, to be honest, is probably one of the worst positions to start in. Because, I mean, I don't know, to be honest, I'm not sure if there's slipstream in this race because of the rain. But there also seems to be this weird thing where you lose a bit of grip by being behind someone. Not 100% sure about that though. And other than that, because of the rolling start, the leaders have a bit of a massive advantage here. It's difficult to overtake them right off the bat or the first corner, and then that allows them to just pull away. And you can see as we go through the double corner, the kind of fast chicane there, I don't know what to call it, a bit of oversteer there, and this person who was in third place overtakes us and goes into second place. So now we're down in third place, and right behind us as well we have the Spaniard. We're still right behind the person out of us, so possibly we could go for a move. Now over here I wasn't actually planning on going for a move, but I was later than him on the brake, so I didn't want to go into the back of him. That's why I went to the inside, but it wasn't intended for a move. And as we go to the first corner here, you can see him slightly over to the right hand side, and he brakes a bit late, goes a little bit wide, and based on that I get the position back. However, if you look at the radar, See, the Spaniard there is right behind him now, and gives him a tap as we go through the second corner. Gives me also a small tap from the back, but more importantly, he pushes him off the circuit. And if you look at the leaderboard on the left hand side, you can see he's even outside the top 8 right now. So that's his race over. Behind us, the Spaniard, then 2 Spaniards actually, both of them not, well, especially the one ahead of, the one right behind me now, not the cleanest of drivers. So as we go through the fast right-hander here, you can see he gives me a tap from behind. I don't know if it was intended, but then he takes the position and goes ahead. And the Spaniard behind us said, I'm not really going to fight it too much, so I just basically let him by. I didn't want to ruin my race too early. Game over. MCM there goes in 3rd place, and we drop down to 4th place. Then about 2 corners we drop down to 4th place. I go for a move down the inside here, but I was a little bit late on the brakes, and I'm forced to go a little bit off wide there. The Finnish driver behind us, I'm gonna try and go down my inside on the second corner. Doesn't leave me too much space. He actually like went over to the left hand side, or maybe I went over to the right hand side. Anyway, there was contact, and yeah, I went off the circuit and I dropped down to 6th still. So not the best of races so far. Let's see, maybe we might be able to finish maybe like top 4 if we're lucky. But the Finnish driver there has a penalty, and the person behind him isn't actually going to get the position right off the bat, because the penalty here is right before a corner. The penalty line is right before a corner, so it's not really that effective. The Dutch driver does go down the inside though, but then he goes wide on the exit, and so the Finnish driver gets the position back. Sadly, we were unable to benefit from any of this because of how far behind we were. And as we go through the first corner there, you can see we actually catch up really quickly to the Dutchman through one corner. I think he's just braking way too early through there, to be honest. And as we get all the spray in our faces there, as we go through the second corner, we're still right behind him. He goes a little bit wide there actually, and it even allows us to get even closer to him. However, as we go through the left-right sequence here, it's a very fun sequence, but also very difficult to get right. You can see I had a bit of oversteer, and we lose a lot of time there. Pretty much all the time we were trying to catch up, just immediately we lose it in one corner. That's the thing about racing in the rain like that. Anyway, as we go through the main straight here onto the first corner, once again, pretty much the same thing. We catch up really quickly. We even have the inside line for a millisecond there, but then he closes the door. And on the exit, we stay right behind him. Maybe go for a move for the second corner, and you can see he's actually turning on his blinkers there. And that makes no difference because he and the Finnish driver, both of them go off the circuit on the grass. And I say thank you very much. 2 free positions there. So exactly where we lost the positions, I believe, is where we gained them. So we go up to 4th place, back into 4th place. The Dutchman's still right on our tail though. And the 2 Spaniards there are actually going to have a pretty aggressive battle, let's just put it that way. So you can see there's a bit of a gap there, but then catches up to them quite quickly. The guy in P3 catches up to P2. Dutchman as well, right behind me. You can see in the radar. He's right behind me there, just in the radar. The 2 Spanish drivers going side by side with each other. Keep that in mind as we go defensive here from the Dutchman, who's staying right behind us. And we go defensive for a second, but then we give him the inside line again. And as we go through the first corner, you can see the Spanish driver goes a bit wide. We go a little bit wide ourselves, and we try to avoid the Spanish driver by going on the outside line. But then, unexpectedly, he has a bit of oversteer or a slide there. He hits us from the side, and we go into the wall. So we gain a position from him. However, we lose the position to the Dutchman. So total net gain / loss of 0 positions, still in 4th place then. And by the final lap, if you look in the top center, there's some yellow flags there. And there's a guy with a penalty. However, that's actually a back marker who's somehow being lapped already. And he's gone off the circuit, getting himself loads of penalties. It was pretty funny, to be honest. Quite ridiculous. So, thankfully though, thanks to ghosting, no one loses any positions or no carnage happens. And yeah, that was it until the end of the race. We finished in 4th position. Definitely not the best of races considering we started 2nd, but it is what it is. But that's gonna be the end of this video. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure to like the button down below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.